I'm going to give you a strategy that you can use to learn 10 words every day so you'll be able to expand your vocabulary and speak English more confidently and fluently. Now, 10 words every day is about 300 words every month. But how many words do you actually need to know to become fluent in a language? Well, it entirely depends on your level. If you're at the A1 or the beginner level, you need about 500 to 1,000 words. To be considered A2 or elementary, you need 1,000 to 2,000 words in your vocabulary. At B1, you need 2,000 to 3,500. At B2, 3,500 to 5,000. And at the C1 level, 5,000 to 8,000. Now, you are truly fluent in a language once you reach the C2 level. And at that level, you need about 8,000 to 16,000 words, or even more. But it's not just about learning new words, because you can have a huge passive vocabulary. You can understand people when they speak, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to speak yourself. It's not just about how many words you know, it's about how many words you know how to use and how many words you actually do use on a regular basis. So if you have at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day, I'm going to teach you a strategy you can use to learn at least 10 new words, which is a very reasonable goal. If you learn 10 new words every day, that's 300 words a month, and over a whole year, that's about 3,600, which is enough to go from B1 to C1. Let's talk about step one. This is what I call the input phase, and it's best if you do it in the morning. First of all, you need to choose 10 words from real English input. Now, what is input? Input is what you listen to. It's what you consume. It's what you read. That's input. It's not a random list of words that you picked out at random in the dictionary. For example, when you're watching a YouTube video, there might be new words in the video. When you're listening to a podcast, you can follow along with the transcript, and you might come across new words there. Or if you're reading the news or you're reading a book, you will inevitably find words that you didn't know. I want you to pick at least 10 words every single day, and make sure these are words that you'd actually use in your real life. Don't pick random words that you have no connection to or that you'd never use. Now, I recommend your phone, especially the Notes app. This is honestly the simplest thing to do. You can just keep all these words in your Notes app. There are also tools like Quizlet or Notion that you can try as well, which will help you organize these words. Or if you prefer to do things the old school way, of course, you can take a pen and paper and record things in a notebook. Now, once you've done that, I want you to create a table. You need the word, you need an example sentence, and that can be the example sentence from the source, for example, the podcast or the movie or the TV show. You can also add the translation of that word. And I do recommend using the site Reverso Context. If you've ever heard of Reverso Context, it's an amazing resource that you can use to translate a word and to find the real translation. Obviously, you can also use a dictionary. And lastly, you can also include an image or an emotion that you would associate with that word. For example, maybe you learn a word that reminds you of something. It makes you feel a certain emotion. You can also write down that emotion, because we are designed as humans to remember emotions and to remember how we felt. Connecting words with emotions is a very powerful strategy which will help you memorize them. Now, let's talk about step two, the activation phase. Look, if you can't use a word, you don't actually know it. That's my philosophy, and that's what I believe, because what's the point in learning vocabulary if you can't use it? Step two is designed to help you activate those words that are lying dormant in your brain. Go through the list of words, speak each word out loud in a new sentence. So you actually have to create a new sentence. Don't use the example sentence, create a brand new sentence, and record a 1-minute voice note on your phone where you speak all 10 words naturally in different sentences. I really recommend using voice notes because it helps you document your journey to fluency. So if you can also record your voice and record yourself speaking, this will allow you in future to go back and to listen to your own voice and to see how you sounded a year ago. Remember this, your brain remembers usage. It remembers connection. It doesn't remember lists. We don't want to create random lists. Whenever you learn a new word, in step two, I want you to connect it with a real world sentence, a sentence that you'd actually use in your daily life. Now, on to step three, which I call the memory phase. Remember this, forgetfulness is the price of laziness. If you're lazy and you don't review what you learned, you will forget it. So open up your notebook, open up whatever app you're using to record your vocabulary, and test yourself. Hide the translation, cover it up, and try to recall the meaning of the word. Write 2 or 3 sentences combining today's words and also yesterday's words, so you can consolidate what you learned yesterday as well. Whenever you learn a new word, you need to say it out loud. Not only will this help your pronunciation, it will also help you memorize, because we're more likely to remember a word that we say out loud. So talk to yourself, look in front of the mirror, speak out loud. Now, once a week, and I recommend doing this on Sunday, you can do what I call the Sunday reset, which is essentially a 20-minute review every single week. I want you to review all 70 words you've written down or you've recorded that week. Create a story or paragraph using at least 50 of them. Record it, write it down. You can use your notes app, you can use Notion, you can use any application or even a physical notebook. And what you'll notice is that some words begin to stick. You won't remember everything, but you will remember some of the words. And some of the words will feel more natural, they'll begin to stick, and you'll find that you can actually recall them, you can actually remember them. This is exactly what we want. I don't expect you to remember everything you learn. You will forget some words, but as long as you are learning as many as possible, as long as some of them begin to stick, that's how you know you're on the right track. Now, this brings me to my next point, and it's called the golden rule, the 80-20 exposure rule. I want you to spend 20% of your time actually learning new words and 80% of your time exposing yourself to real English, to videos, to books, and to podcasts. Every new word should appear in something you read or watch again within a week. So don't watch a movie once, don't watch a video once, watch it again and again and again, week after week. Repetition is what transforms memory into fluency. Now, let's talk about tracking progress. See, if you can't track your progress, you will feel less motivated, and ultimately, there's a good chance you will give up, you will quit. I want you to create a 30-day tracker. You can use a physical chart, you can write it out by hand, you can use Excel, you can use Google Sheets, you can use Notion, if you're familiar with Notion. And I want you to tick off every single day you learn 10 new words. So that should be Monday, check, Tuesday, check, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 10 new words every day for a week. And then track how many words you actively use. 70% of the words you learn, you should try to use actively in conversation. And if you don't have anybody to speak to, my team and I offer several online programs designed to help you speak English more fluently. So click the link in the description below to apply. We have recorded classes, we have group classes, we have private classes, and everything we do is designed to give you what you need to become fluent in English. As I said, tracking progress is so important because if you don't track your progress, if you have no way of knowing how many of those words you are remembering, it's going to be a lot more difficult to stay motivated. And that's why I also do recommend recording your voice, documenting your journey, documenting your progress so you can always go back and review where you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, or a year ago. Seriously, there's no better motivation than listening to an old voice recording of yourself from a year ago and seeing how much progress you've made. It really puts things in context and it's super, super encouraging and motivating. So to summarize, in the morning, learn from real content. Midday, speak and record your words. In the evening, review and recall. And on Sundays, you can do your Sunday reset and create a story, review that story. And of course, don't forget to track your progress and expose yourself to real English. 20 to 30 minutes a day, 10 new words a day, 300 new words a month. And in 12 months, you'll go from B1 to C1. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube if you'd like to study English and improve your fluency. As always, you can also click the link in the description below to apply to study with us. We have several amazing programs which have helped thousands of students over the last couple of years improve their confidence, their speaking, and their fluency. Most of our students are professionals. They're learning English for fun. They're learning English for personal development, and they're super motivated. So if that's you, then I'm very confident we can help you out. But make sure to submit an application below so we can better understand your situation. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next lesson.